I am going to read a little bit from Neville's book, Feeling is the Secret. Just been having a look at this today, and while I'm waiting for you to hop on with your questions, I'm going to read you a few wonderful little nuggets from this book. Neville says in Chapter 1, Law and its Operation. The conscious generates ideas and impresses these ideas on the subconscious. The subconscious receives ideas and gives form and expression to them. By this law, first conceiving an idea and then impressing the idea on the subconscious, all things evolve out of consciousness, and without this sequence, there is not anything made that is made. The conscious impresses the subconscious, while the subconscious expresses all that is impressed upon it. So wonderful, because the subconscious and the conscious work together. They're like twins. And they are loving things, let's say. Hi, Veronica from Hungary, and hello, Dewey. Nice to see you. Now, another little Neville nugget. The manner of expression or the difficulties involved are not to be considered by you. To think feelingly on any state impresses it on the subconscious. Or, if you dwell on the difficulties, barriers, or delay, subconscious by its very non-selective nature accepts the feeling of difficulties and obstacles as your request and produce them in your outer world. Okay? So, let's go over that a little bit. To think feelingly on any state impresses it on the subconscious. So, whatever state you're in, whatever you are feeling the most, positive or negative, okay, it impresses that on the subconscious, all right? So that's what, be mindful of where you let your mind wander. Where do you let your mind go? Because if you're dwelling on the difficulties and the delays, then your subconscious is accepting that as your request, and then it executes that your request is produced as your experience or in your outside world. So you've got to be very mindful of where you let your mind linger around. Okay? Now, I'm just going to read one more little. Pop your questions up. I'm happy if you tell me things, but you need to actually ask me questions so that I can, if I'm just going to read your comment, say, okay, it doesn't really help you. So if you have something to ask, put it in question form. You can tell me what you need to say and then ask me a question, okay? So that it makes it more rewarding or a possibility of relief at your end, okay? Now, let's have another look. Angelina, today no questions, only gratitude. I'm together for over 7 years with you, Agnes. Hello, Angelina. That's lovely. I'm so grateful that you are in gratitude. That's wonderful. Angeli, I'm on my journey to self-love and healing. Wonderful. That's the way. If you do that first, everything else works out, doesn't it? Just gets easier and easier. As we respect ourselves, we get respect from others. As we love ourselves, we receive love from others. So, yeah, very good thing to practice. Okay, Karine, I find it hard to be happy. Hang on, I got to just pull your question up again. In today's world, it seems quite gloomy to me. Any advice on having a better perspective? Well, I think it's not about being happy in the world. It's being happy at home. It's being happy in your job. It's being happy with your friends. It's being happy with your family. You can't sometimes influence something that's so big. So work smaller. And I'm not saying don't, know what's going on in the world because you don't want to be ignorant to what's going on. But I do think it's looking for the appreciate, looking for the things that are working, looking for the things that you love, looking for the things that bring you joy. You've got to train your mind to look for those things. And doing gratitude a day, I do 20 things that I'm grateful for in the shower every day. I've been doing that for about 15 years. It's a great way to practice looking at the glass half full rather than half empty. And yeah, it's a really great way to get yourself into the right place. Okay? And you keep practicing it, and you keep practicing it, and you keep practicing it. Get there, Karine. Okay? So it's not about being happy in the world, it's about being happy in yourself. And then you will see things that reflect that back to you through what you put your gaze on, your focus on. And Jolly, I miss your Neville nuggets. Oh, I haven't done any for a while, have I? Yes. Beat Boy, no more cigarettes, please. I'm not sure what you're referring to because I don't smoke. You're referring to yourself. Having had a father who smoked, that is not my my preference. Each to their own. Dewey, and yes, I know that I am a very caring and responsible person. Why I don't receive the same from others as well? Well, it depends why you're doing it. Okay, look underneath. Am I caring and loving because I want to be of service and that's what I want to do? Or am I doing it to perhaps get? Now, I don't think that you have to just give endlessly and not have people around you that give back, because I think when you are around people that are on the same page, you end up with people that give and receive. So I think it's who are you hanging around, I suppose, Dewey, and also having good boundaries, which I talked about yesterday in yesterday's live. You might want to go back and have a look at that. I think you were on here, actually. Beat Boy, don't stay stuck in the past and don't live in the future. That's right. Live in the present moment as best you can and be grateful and appreciate what is here. A good reminder. Karine, I like that. Looking smaller. Yeah, if you it's easy to get overwhelmed with global stuff. I mean, I don't really watch the news these days. I'm not saying I never see anything, but I don't need to spend my day there. Online, what newspapers. I mean, I'm not on social media anymore except YouTube, obviously. So I limit. It's like protecting what comes into you emotionally needs to be a priority, okay? And when you do that, you get better at feeling better because you're not allowing global stuff and all this, doom and gloom and disaster, and also the media and how they dump that stuff on our psyches rather than doing good news stories. They do a lot of bad news stories. So if that's what they want to do, carry on. I mean, that people like us that do work on the mind, the body, the spirit are going to be plugging into that. As the decades go by, they're going to get less and less people plugging in because people understand the effects that it has on their psyche. My pleasure, Karine. Max Katie, I have no idea what your abbreviations mean. And I'm not sure what that has to do with anything. So let me know if you have a question. Okay, so Beat Boy, Kane, I don't know if you're religious, but that may help if it helped me a lot. Okay, lovely, Beat Boy, that's nice. Hey Brown, your hair looks great on yes, you. Very much. I don't put a lot of focus on things like that, but I do appreciate your comment. A Brown. Boy, yeah, what you consume becomes your reality. Absolutely does. And that's why when we watch a lot of crime shows and murder and mayhem before we go to bed, And that's the last thing you watch. Is it any surprise wake up anxious and depressed or not wanting to go to work or whatever? The last thing you put in your mind before you go to sleep is very important. That's why listening to a nice meditation or ocean waves or crackling fire or a beautiful Ho'oponopono meditation, whatever it is, there's so many wonderful things to listen to before you go to sleep, or go to sleep in the silence and just repeat something like I am loved as you go to sleep. That helps too. Dewey, my intention is always service orientated. Your suggestion for having boundaries is a good one. Yeah, you got to kind of sometimes work out, okay, is this me overgiving perhaps? Being of service is good, but you got to look at, is it deplete? Am I giving too much? Because giving's good, overgiving isn't. And once you let go, I mean, look, I know in my own life there's people I've stopped giving to because I grew tired of it. So there are times where I just naturally just pulled back because I just thought we're not on the same page, and that's all right. But I'm not going to be constantly giving here. And then I feel like I'm looking after a child. I don't want a relationship. I don't want that dynamic, you see. So it's choosing who do you feel uplifted by and you have fun with and you have great conversations, or who do you feel drained by and is exhausting to be around, but you give it's never enough. So look at your boundaries around relationships. And Dewey, hopefully, not Dewey, yes, Dewey, hopefully when you look at it a bit more clearly, you'll get some good information that can then help you make some better decisions around boundaries and about how long you spend around these people. Okay? A. Brown, so important to realize that, boy, 100%. Exactly. TRS, to attract someone from a specific ethnicity or nationality, is it wrong? No, not at all. We have preferences. We're drawn to certain countries, certain languages, certain demographics. There are certain people that we're just drawn to, and it might be, because you went to school with someone of that ethnicity when you were a kid and you really loved them and you had a good relationship, and then your parents moved and then you really miss them. But then when you meet someone that's from that same culture or ethnicity, you think, oh, I'd like that again. So some of it comes from childhood, some of it is just, you know what, I'm just drawn to that. I don't know why. So you don't have to have a reason. I mean, I had a very specific ethnicity that I was drawn to, and my specific person is that ethnicity. Because of the music, the food, the dance, and the culture, I liked all those things. So yeah, it really can get very clear. And that is clarity, and the universe loves clarity. I had a friend, I think I read out her story years ago, and she wanted a Spanish-speaking partner. She loved salsa dancing, and her and I would go out and listen to the music. She loved music. And she said to her mum, one day you're going to have Spanish-speaking grandchildren. And her mother looked at her and went, what? And she said to me, what affirmation can I do? And I said, well, Spanish-speaking people aren't just in Spain. They're in South America. There's places that speak Spanish that is not in Spain itself. So I said, what is it you want? She said, a Spanish-speaking person from South America. And I said, okay. So I said to her, I have a Spanish-speaking salsa dancing South American boyfriend. It was very specific. Now, been with a guy from Colombia she's got 2 kids with him now, and the children are, she's got 2 girls and they're probably 7. So, she manifested that and said her affirmation, and we had good conversations about it. So, yeah, you can definitely do that, TRS. Knock yourself out. It's like saying I wear boots rather than sneakers. I'd rather drive a red car rather than a black one. Those are just preferences. And you might say, okay, well, I want to have a Nissan rather than a Mercedes. We have preferences with cars, so we can definitely have preferences with ethnicity and nationalities. So enjoy. Jennifer, what does it mean when you keep running into your SP while on the road? We live in the same city. Well, Jennifer, it sounds like you are manifesting some kind of connection with that person. Now, you might want to give thanks for that if that's what you want. As in, you said it's your specific person, so I'm assuming it's something that you want. And then what you do is you say, okay, now that I keep running into them, how about that we meet in person this time? Somewhere where we can actually see them. They're not encased in a car, that they're on the road, walking in a cafe, in a restaurant, walking in a park, whatever it is. So, give thanks when things start to unfold. It's a good start. Chi, hi Agnes, watching from the Philippines. Hello, darling. Hello to you in the Philippines. Jennifer, also hi Agnes. Hello, Jennifer. Oh, that's very sweet. Neela, hello. I'm fine, Neela. All good. I've just been to Chelsea, the big flower show that they do on TV every year because I'm in London. I ended up going out there to meet a friend, and I ended up right in the middle of hundreds of thousands of people, which I wasn't expecting. So I'm glad I made it home on time for the Q&A, you guys, because it was a bit hard to get out of there. It was like a cork in a bottle, a bit like that. A. Brown, I've been listening to affirmation tapes for another well-known YouTuber while I sleep because she has 8 to 10 hour tracks. Nice. Lately, I have been having nightmares. Is that the subconscious fighting back? I don't know. I mean, it depends, I suppose, what the affirmations are. It depends, I suppose, what thoughts you have when you're conscious. Are you really, really resisting believing them in your conscious day waking time? Maybe just give it a break, ease off a bit, and then have a look clearly at what the affirmations actually are. I think the content's important, okay? Have a look at, are they affirmations for self-love? Are they affirmations to manifest something? What are they? I suppose I need a bit more information to answer that. Okay. Let me just stop this person putting up silly things. Dorenz, hello Agnes, I just follow you on YouTube. I want to ask, can we manifest a SP just have 3P? I'll just keep reading your question. I'm in a relationship with her 9 months after we break up. Oh, okay, she's having a third party 1 month after. Can I still manifest? Yeah, you can. But see, if there's a third party involved, Durance, have a look at, whenever we end up in third party situations, the thing that's important to really look at is if we've got any I'm not good enough and I'm second best. Okay, have a look on this channel. There's a third party playlist and there's a first best, second best playlist. Work your way through that and that will help you. You can go through all of that for free. Okay, and then start to get a sense, what have I got going on in me that I'm experiencing this? What do I need to dissolve in me that would help dissolve this on the outside? What have I got going on in me that maybe I'm still not feeling good enough? Okay. And it's working on those things. That's what's really important. Okay? Start with that, step at a time. Now, oh, gee. Thanks a ton, Dewey. No problem. Jennifer, isn't it wonderful? What seems to me now has me seeing movement. Yeah, I love that affirmation. And the unexpected happens. My seemingly impossible good now comes. That's a really nice one too. They're both general. They sit on top of job, money, love, specific person, my health. All of those things can fit under that. It's like an umbrella that just protects us from negatively and then attracting negatively. Okay. G, hi Agnes, I am limiting myself from new love if I'm manifesting on SP. I've been revising events with the SP that triggered me, but I don't want to limit myself. I'm open to him or better. Well, if you're open to that person or better, I would make that one of your missions. Maybe say, I pray for the person that's for the highest good of all people. Highest good for them, highest good for me. Maybe try that. That way, if it's them, they come. If it's not, a new person shows up. So either way, you are covering ground, so to speak. I would try that, G. Because sometimes when you get too fixated on an SP, which it doesn't sound like you are, when you have a bit more of a soft, open hand, I think then people can, it's like you've let go of trying to control and force it. And that's a good thing. Okay, so if you can continue to say, "Best relationship I've ever had. I love this relationship. I love how we're in sync. I love how we understand each other. I love the time we spend together. I love that we look after ourselves and then we look after each other. I love the things we do." And then mention some things. Go and see music, go dancing, go hiking, go camping, go traveling, you know, whatever it is that you like to do. And then you keep that rolling. So if it's him, he will step into those things. If it's not, show up. Either way, you can't lose. Neela, I have so many offers by men that are offering me so much help. Before I would reject. Now I see how for me is normal to accept help from someone. So I think it's big success. But one thing is, I don't know what one thing is, Neela. Your comment's a bit further down. I am confirming lack, but my SP is still not here. So do you think I'm still having resistance? You said you're confirming lack. How are you confirming lack, I wonder? I think there is no difference to manifest him or another man. Well, yes and no. It depends, because often people have got very negative assumptions about the specific person, yet they wouldn't have as many assumptions about someone they don't know. They might have negative assumptions on relationships and men or relationships and women, but it's a little bit less voltage on it, let's say. Okay? Because when you know someone and it's gone pear-shaped, you have more negative emotion about someone that you've known. Okay? All right. Vanact, thank you. Jesse, finally a sane person, probably a cool person too. What's the channel about? Did you send up here randomly, Jesse? And Jesse, I've got no filters on my face and nothing's artificial. Q, hey Anya, my SP got married because of his parents' pressure. Can I still manifest him because he is not happy in his marriage? Q, if someone's married, leave that alone. Even if he's not happy, leave it until you know he's not married. Okay, I wouldn't try and go and manifest someone that's married to someone, because you're trying to covet someone else's thing. Okay, have a look at the Golden Rule YouTube channel. Okay, even if it was his parents' pressure, he allowed that pressure. Okay, so not happy in his marriage, he allowed the parental pressure and he put himself there. So he's not really in he's in an adolescent state where he's allowing parents to influence him, which in a way, do you really want a husband like that? Because if he's going to do that with the other person, he will do that with you. So get clear about what you want, but do not, I think, go into trying to take someone off somebody else. That will only boomerang back to you, and you don't want that to hit you. Okay? It is loaded with misery. Don't do it, in my opinion. Okay? Now, hang on. Hi, Glam Pam. Okay, let me just go back a bit because I've missed a few. Yana, hello Queen, I love your videos. Okie doke, glad it helps. Neela, ha ha ha, you did it wise. I'm not sure what I did wise, but you can let me know. TBBBB. Hey, I unblocked my ex and he texted me after an hour and asked me why did I and then after 2 days he texted me again and we talked and he called me a negative girl. I said, if I'm negative, why are you talking with me? And then he blocked me. Okay, what is it that why is this? What is this? He is not mature. Really, if I'm negative, why are you texting me when I unblocked you? Okay, I wouldn't get into any of that TBBBB. It's very adolescent, all this stuff, so don't even engage in it. You know, we end up getting dragged other people's nonsense. So, okay, you just go, you know what, if that's what he's doing, that's fine, that's him, but I'm not doing that. Okay? And just step away from it. Hold your emotional state of love and confidence and security, and don't give it away when people do this. It's just, you know, and you got to ask yourself, okay, if that's outside of me, what have I got going inside of me that I need to dissolve and perhaps let go of so that I don't need to anymore? Okay, and boundaries. Have a look at yesterday's Q&A. Talked a lot about boundaries. Glampam, do you think that possibly God could have been a reincarnation of one of the apostles because of his understanding and interpretation of the Bible? Who knows? That's a big can of worms, Glampam. Is it possible? I can't see why not. We ever know? That is the question mark. Something interesting to think about. G, is inner child meditation just another form of revision? So it's a subset of revision. No, very different. Inner child is releasing old emotions from the past. Your body's a suitcase, it's holding stuff in, and then what happens is because you released it or dissolved it or resolved it, then you pick people in your old years that echo the very thing that you had going on back then, but this time for healing purpose. See if you will heal it, release it. Revision is going into the mind, bringing up images of a certain memory, like a little video, and then you're pasting over the top of it a movie, how you would have liked it to go. And you do it again and again, again and again, until the emotion from that time disappears. So very different, okay? Both are good. Hello, Carla. Senior, Her Majesty is shining. The King and the Queen and the beautiful minds. Shining like a baby. Manel, hi, and yes, I finally get to be here. Woo! You did it. Sometimes we have good timing, don't we? VJ1511, how to know he is right for me. I have a desire to marry him and be with him romantically in a loving relationship, but my friends have told me that he is not right for me and he won't keep me happy. Well, you've got to trust your intuition. You've got to follow what you think, what you feel, and you have to make decisions for your own life. People can only say what they say, but are they right? Are they wrong? Are they accurate in what they're saying? Only you will know if that's true. And sometimes you might not know for a little while. Sometimes you need to pray for clarity. Okay? And the thing is, one more thing, it's not his job to keep you happy. It's your job to keep you happy and put that into the relationship. Okay? Really important. Marriage is about bringing something to the marriage, not trying to get stuff from the marriage. If you feel insecure and you're looking to feel secure, you've got it the wrong way around. You've got to bring your feeling of security and love towards the marriage and take it towards your person. Okay? There's a lot of codependent relationships in the world where you do this for me and then I'll do that. But two people that are in a happy, loving state that give to each other make for the better relationships. And I can tell you that because I'm in one and I've been with him for this year, it's 14 years. So it really makes a huge difference when two people bring fuel and fertilizer and marinade to the relationship, and it gets better and better. My relationship gets better and better. A lot of people think relationships get harder and harder. But that's because of what you think, what you've witnessed. Doesn't mean it's true and it has to be that way. Change your thought, change your experience with relationships and love. Okay? Okay. TBBBB, so I can't manifest him a good version. No, you're not. See, this is the thing. You're not manifesting a good version. You're changing you so that a different experience of him shows itself. It's not a different version of him. He's showing up because he's matching the version of you that you are in right now. For that to change, you must change. The world is only reflecting back to you where you are really at, not where you say you're at, want to be at, where you are really at. And that's where you got to look to correct. Am I trying to get love? Am I in a state of love? Am I feeling unwanted and unloved because I'm experiencing it? So therefore, I got to get into feeling wanted to change my experience. It's all an inside job. And when stuff comes at you, you decide whether you step towards it or step away. We have to, we're human, so we're going to go in and out of emotions. Therefore, our relationships have dips and peaks. So you have to make the changes within you for the external to reflect back to you something different. Okay? Hi, and yes, it's just affirmations would you recommend to me when I have afraid about my SP has 4 kids. I feel that I don't have much patience, but I really want to be with him. Well, I wouldn't even say necessarily affirmations, Jessica. I think just about relaxing into being loving and being of service. If you love this man and he's got 4 kids, to be a person that is rising to the challenge and the experience would be to be a loving presence for them. Because you don't just love the father, the kids are a part of him and they always will be. So lack of patience, maybe we'll work on that before you start thinking about being with him. Because if you can't correct that, I wouldn't go into I really want to be with him, because you will end up damaging those children, and that's really okay? So correct your stuff before you start looking to manifest someone who has 4 children. Even if he is your SP, he's a package deal, okay? And ask yourself, what if I had 4 kids and I knew he didn't have any patience? How would that be for me as a mother? Always see it from the other side. See what you can give to something, not what you can get from it. That's the best way, I think, to approach, especially when they're fragile and beautiful and deserve the very best from adults. Okay? Now, I'm going to do a couple more. Q, my ex is a covert narcissist. Can I manifest that he is a normal person who is not emotionally abusive towards me, or I manifest a new SP? Look, that's not something I can answer, Q, because you've put a label on this person. I understand that if he's emotionally abusive, I would be very mindful to look at that, and I would seriously deal with someone who can help you with it. It's a playlist I did on narcissism, and within that playlist there is a woman I interviewed, I can't remember her name, but the playlist is very short, and she specializes in narcissistic issues, abuse, and she would be someone, she's in New Zealand, you will see it on the thumbnail, the interview with this woman, and it's got a beautiful floral background, the thumbnail. So have a look at that and listen to that. That isn't something I can advise you about, because you have to decide firstly about having boundaries, because if you have emotional boundaries. You have to have self-respect first. And if someone is doing that, you've got to go, why am I stepping in to put myself in this situation? Because you have to respect yourself before someone else respects you. But in the abuse, I would not be standing around for any kind of abuse. Okay? Do your inner work. Self-love is not putting up with emotional abuse, physical abuse, any abuse. But I understand some people draw them back into these situations because it's familiar. So I would work with someone who specializes in narcissism, like this woman in New Zealand. Her email address and her website, her details are in the description of that video. I would contact her directly, and if you want to do work and invest in yourself a little bit to get to the bottom of it, she would be the person to deal with and to talk to, because that's her area of expertise. Okay? Now, one more question. Manel, what should I do with a person who I work for? He's extremely kind to me and is aware of my situation, but he's still very negative and keeps telling me negativity about my situation. Well, I would set boundaries with him, Manel, and say, you know, I'd prefer not to talk about this anymore, and I'm going to sort this out. And remember, the everyone's you pushed out principle. Whatever I've got going on in me that this keeps coming at me, I need to dissolve that. I need to work out what it is that I am experiencing this in front of me. Okay? Have a look at an interview. Manel, there's an interview. Go to YouTube, Dr. Hugh Len, then put the word interview, then put the word Carla, as in the woman's name, C-A-R-L-A, and then put the date 2001. Put spaces in between all those things. Listen to that interview. It's an old interview. At the beginning of the interview, the woman actually speaks in another language, but it's only for about a minute or two, and then the rest in English. I would highly suggest you look at that. Okay? And it's one of the most wonderful interviews, and it's so well broken down in so many ways. All right, everybody, I'm going to scoot, and I will see you next week again, Wednesday and Thursday, 5 p.m. UK time. This will get uploaded immediately, and then my staff will be adding the links. If I've mentioned something and you can't find it and you want to look at it straight away, she will look at it and upload it in the description of every single live. She will add the links that I mention, and therefore you can access them straight away if you cannot find them from what I've said. Okay? Lots of love, everyone. Big hugs. Thank you for joining the live. Hey, Garrus, you're Aussie. Where are you at? Well, I'm actually I've defected. I'm in London at the moment, but I'm usually from Sydney. Big hugs, everyone. Enjoy your moments. Enjoy the present. Relax. Enjoy. Surrender. Let go. Make yourself a nice cup of tea. Go for a nice walk. Enjoy simple pleasures that don't cost money. Just enjoy things, because you don't get this time back. Okay? So enjoy more. Let go of your preoccupation with being worried or stressed as best you can. Do some deep breathing. Go out in nature. Be around trees and grass. They don't argue. They're abusive. They're not awful. They nurture us. Be around nature so that you can really, you know, recharge your battery. And when you recharge your battery, then you can think more clearly to deal with the things you need to deal with. All right? Big hugs. Mwah! See you soon.